Ready, hunt!
Thank you, Michael. Welcome, everyone. Here on an off week, but I thought it would still be good to wrap up the Texas A&M game and, another good, solid win. I was, really just overall pleased with the play of our players, obviously, and, some guys that really played well offensively. Roy Finch was our player of the game on offense, had an excellent game. He and some guys up front. Ben Haburn, his first game back, really played at a winning level. He gave Eichert again and Donald Stevenson. And then, of course, Jazz Reynolds and Ryan Broyles had some big plays. Of course, very unfortunate that Ryan Broyles tore his anterior cruciate ligament. He's, been in good spirits, but it's really tough on him. The plan right now is what we thought. They'll let the swelling go away, try and build up his leg, strengthen his leg before the surgery. So they're looking at right around 3 weeks until they do the surgery. It appears to just be a clean, no other parts of his knee were damaged, just the anterior cruciate ligament. Defensively, some guys that played well. Jamel Fleming forcing 2 turnovers, had a huge game. Ron L. Lewis also had a big game, another great game for him, those two. And then Stacy McGee was also with those other 2 guys, one of the players of the game, along with a host of other players, really played well. Also happy, I thought Michael Honeycutt has done a really good job kicking the ball. And I thought really he and Tress Way, with the wind conditions that we had through the game, really handled it well and gave us good field position that way. So it leads us into the off week. We're didn't practice yesterday, had meetings, reviewed the game, and then we will practice today, Wednesday and Thursday, giving them Friday off and through the weekend. I think it comes at a really good time. We'll use the extra time to study, our coming 3 opponents and give us extra practice time against Baylor. So they're a team that I think it's been very obvious to everybody with their quarterback Robert Griffin and a host of other talented guys that they have really throughout as a team been playing well. I just put up just a few yards short of 700 yards against Missouri. So a really good football team that's playing well. So it'll be good to have the extra 3 practice days to go with next week to work on them and hopefully have a good game plan in place.
What are you going to do with Broyles' slot?
We'll see. The other guys will have to step up between Trey Franks, Jazz Reynolds. Those guys have worked in there. Camille Jackson has come on as a freshman, to go out in those other outside positions. So we'll start working on that here this week.
Bob, with Ryan, he doesn't just play one spot, though, does he?
Yeah, he plays everywhere. And don't forget, he's leading the Big 12 in punt returns, too. So it's hard to replace a guy that, as you said, he doesn't just play in the slot. He plays in different formations outside, too. So it's just easy. For a guy that isn't so big in stature, it's a big presence to replace.
How well do you feel like your other receivers are coming along in the receiving game with
I think it's been obvious. They've been very good. The other guys through the year, DeJuan Miller had a big game against Kansas State. Jazz has had many big games. Kenny Stills has. So those guys need to really pick up their leadership and toughness to stay on the field more and to make the kind of plays Ryan's been making.
Is Camille a guy, because he's played some early, that he could make a quicker transition to more playing time, to more?
I believe so. Camille definitely has a chance to do that. He's a guy that we have really liked all year and has been practicing more and more consistently through the year.
Is Haburn ready to step in and start at center?
Probably after last week. Again, we've got 2 weeks or a week and a half here to make sure we're comfortable with that. But that's a decent possibility. And he, like I said, it was really great to see him, come out after so many weeks off, to come out and be one of the, really play well.
What's the situation with Tony Jefferson right now? Is he nicked up or just?
No, he's set to practice and no situation at all.
It was just unusual to see him play so little the other night.
Yeah, it was unusual with, he just some of the practice issues. He was a little nicked up last week, and then some of their formations too. They played, if you remember, a lot more tight ends and fullbacks and things like that fit Joseph a little bit too. So a little bit was that.
Can you, with Adam Shedd playing so well, can you play Gabe at the right guard as well, since
Yeah.
he's played center, so you can?
Yeah, Gabe's a bright guy. He can play about anywhere. So, and Adam Shedd has been a big boost for us in there.
I'll talk about the importance of Jamel at corner. He comes back, you guys really do a great job, shut down Texas A&M when he was out.
Well, Jamel's a great player. I think everyone realizes that. Was it just a year ago? I think he was second in the nation in passes defended. So he's a big, strong guy that's got experience. He's got talent. So he's a great player. And he had a huge game, stripping the ball and then, the interception and the other passes defended. He's hard to get away from when he's locked up into that boundary.
What does an injury like this do to Ryan's as far as his draft status?
Well, we'll see. It's very unfortunate, and we'll see. I believe he has a huge body of work that's impressive. That I've already heard from one general manager that has said that look, he just missing these last games. Obviously, we know what he's capable of, and so there's a lot of that'll be positive for him. And then how he gets through the surgery and how he reacts probably leading up to the draft. He won't be able to as far as perform, but obviously they'll be able to check it out that it's progressing just as it should. And hopefully, that will still give him a good and strong opportunity. Again, the body of work, I know, they're, the professional people are impressed with.
As a coach, do you get a chance to really feel for him as a kid and
Absolutely.
just how unfortunate it is for him? Or do you kind of have to just focus, okay, what do we do now that he's gone?
Well, you can focus with, but still have feelings and be sick about something for a young man who loses his opportunity to play. And, now, sure, when we go to practice today, we'll be focused on, all right, what are we going to do about it? But that doesn't take away the personal feelings of, for all our players, when these things happen.
Speaking of body of work, did you see DeMarco doing this well in the NFL to the extent he's broken 2 significant records held by Emmitt Smith?
I didn't realize that, and I've heard little bits of it. I didn't see any of the game Sunday, just really happy for him. We all are. DeMarco, as everyone has always heard me say, and I've got a lot of favorites, but he's up there with all of them. You talk about a very unselfish team guy that was always about the team and a great worker here. So, I'm just really elated for him. All of us are, that he's doing so well. And could we have seen it? I guess so. I don't know about, breaking Emmitt Smith's records. I guess I don't want to say that. But we knew, and we got to see him here for a long time, what an all-around, excellent player he is. And so hopefully it all continues for him.
Does this signify that in the last couple of years when people wanted you to play somebody else, that maybe you knew what you were doing?
I'm not worried about that, Barry. You guys know that. And everybody always has their favorites. And I think it's fair to say that we see practice more than anyone does and see our guys execute and analyze them. And the only way to keep your job and to win games is to play the ones that are doing it the best, most consistently, and in the way you want them to do it. So whenever a guy isn't playing as much, all of the favorites out there, obviously he's not quite doing it as well as someone else, the way we see practice and all the things that lead up to the games.
What's Finch doing now that has earned him a lot more playing time?
More consistency and practice and for sure in the games he's been very productive.
How do you see that moving forward with Clay and Williams?
Just as it just as it was the other day, you know, in different games, at different times, the other guys will have their share of carries and opportunities as well.
Did the game show you that Finch is a guy that can get 25 touches?
Yeah, but I said that all along, that they'd all be good right around 25 touches. I was wrong, he had 26, but, you know, 25 was, you know, as you see, you know, Roy, it'll wear on him, you start getting, you know, quite too much more than that, but he handled it well. So we'll see. Every game's different.